All right, awesome. Hey, welcome everybody to our Saturday training. Today we got a really cool training. We're going to get training from Jamil and Carl, and I'll introduce Jamil right away. We're going to talk about the friends and family plan. These guys have two different techniques that they've been using the friends and family plan to share this with other people. And apparently it's working really well. So we got them here in person on our Saturday training call. First of all, I'm going to introduce Jamil Sherman. He's the guy who shared this with me. He shared this with me back in December 5th, actually. And man, I'm truly grateful for that. I actually wasn't at the time. I was very skeptical. Now I'm feel very blessed and grateful that he did share it with me, because it's been amazing, not just for me and my family, but for all my friends, a lot of whom are on this call right now, which is cool. So yeah, he's going to share this technique that he's been using with the friends and family plan for us. And then what we're going to do after he's done sharing what he's going to share, we're going to have like a question and answer period where you guys can ask him anything you want about what he's doing. And then after that, we're going to get Carl on, who I'll introduce after, and we're going to do the same thing with him. So let's get learning. Jamil, I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend.
Well, thank you so much, Daniel Butts. I appreciate you inviting me here to speak on your panel. And I appreciate everyone else that's here and your time on this beautiful Saturday. And I'm going to get right into it. We noticed that we have, some awesome technology here with the quantum energy. And we want to make sure that we raise the value up on what we have, because, I was talking to Ron Spence, and he was telling me that, it's kind of like we're basically for $100 a month, we have our own health food store, right? So just imagine how many people would invest $100 a month to have their own health food store. So, with that being said, we have something that's even better than having your own health food store, right? And we have our own health food store in the quantum energy field, where we have the actual ingredients and signatures for all these different nutraceuticals and botanicals that you got to travel the world to even find. You're not just going to find them all in one place, like the health food store that we're traditionally known to go search for when we need our nutrition. Right. So with that being said, what I normally do is, I invite people to take a look at what we're doing. And the way I do it is I say, for a limited time only, what we're doing is we're doing a full body quantum evaluation to the first 10 people that reply to me. Right. So normally I have way more than 10 people reply to me in my inbox. And when I say evaluation, we're going to let the spark scan, which is our proprietary technology, kind of read their body. Okay. So we're going to give them a free evaluation. And can I share my screen so I could kind of show you how we do it?
Yeah, of course.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. How about now? Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right. So what we do is we set the appointment first, right? And then once we set the appointment and we send them over an email, we'll go right into, say, invite, and we'll put in their name and their email address here, right? Send them over the appointment. And then once they get this, you want to make sure you walk through this with them. So when they get the email, you want to make sure that you're, helping them set it up. So you want to be there the whole way, right? So once you're doing that, you're going to do the spark scan with them. You're going to go over, once they get the spark scan going, you want to go ahead and go right into the history, right? And show them, kind of like what history we have here, right? Custom boost. So say I'll have a custom boost here. So you want to go over the history with them. Can you guys see my screen still?
Yes, yeah. Go ahead.
All right, cool. So I go over the top 10 with them, and then let them know that, hey, this is what your body's needing. It's needing, say copper, for instance, claim to support cardiovascular health, right? Osteoporosis, nervous system, functioning system. I go over this information with them, and then like probably not right away. If it's not right away, they recognize some of the stuff that they already know they're going through, right? Like for me, I give them my story. For me, mine came up respiratory and asthma, right? So I'm like, how do they know that, right? And then they ask me, how do they know this? I'm like, it's all through this proprietary technology. And so I'll go over this with them. And then once I'm done going over this, and we also, you know, kind of Google search some of these items here, some of these ingredients, and then they see how expensive it is to just go find these particular ingredients right here, right? They see how expensive it is. And then when I tell them, hey, when you join with us, you get a wholesale rate of $100 a month, right? So that's one of the key ingredients because they are really getting a wholesale rate. So they'll get the wholesale rate for $100. And if they say, well, I can't afford it right now, you know, what we'll do is we'll give them a 24, 48-hour test trial, right? We say, hey, we'll give you a 24, 48-hour test trial. Do you think you can come up with the money within, you know, 24, 48 hours? And most of the time right now, I haven't even had to do that. They just say, I want to get this now. And then we just go from here to completing the setup system, okay? And once they see the value of what we have here, it's like a no-brainer, you know, to spend $100 on your own health food store that you have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 30 days for $100. It becomes a no-brainer for these guys, right? So right now I've been having some pretty good success with this by itself and sharing this information with people, letting the Spark Scan do all the work for you, letting the Spark Scan, you know, read their body, do the evaluation, and then from there they say, oh man, I'm ready. I'm ready to start this. I'm ready to get started right away. And then, you know, the reason why we came up with the strategy is because we've been noticing that ever since we released to friends and family, they're giving them trials for 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time, and that's all the leads that they have coming in, right? And so imagine you got all these people coming in and you're not getting no sales, right? You're not getting no one to commit and pull the trigger because you're giving away the program for 2 weeks or 7 days or whatever the case may be. So, and then you're prolonging your volume, right? So we figured out this is a great way to strategize, to get people to take action now, because it's always about having some type of pending event, right? So you want to make sure that you create some type of urgency, especially if you pique their interest and they're interested in what we have here. So my whole thing is pique their interest, right? And that's how we do it when we're talking about quantum technology, quantum energy. We're piquing their interest. Then we pass them some information, right? This is me passing them information, giving them the free overview where they get to get this evaluation. That's some real powerful information that we have where the value is very high, right? And then we plug them into the system by helping them activate it and experiencing the power of quantum energy, folks. I mean, I can't say it no better way than that right there. Once they see that, wow, I'm getting this into my quantum energy field, you know, once they see that this Spark Scan is actually working and it's basically giving them a full diagnosis, but we can't say diagnosis because it's a medical term. So we say evaluation or analyst, right? Analyzing their whole body, right? So once they see that their voice is actually acting as their fingerprint and it's all custom to you. You can't get that at a health food store. You got to go read every single ingredient and see if you're allergic to it, see what's going on, what's in here, what are they mixing it with. Here, you're getting the fingerprint from your voice. And when we show how powerful that is, how it's custom to you, they don't want to turn that down. They don't want to go to the doctor. They don't want to go buy they will take these ingredients, worst case scenario, and go find them somewhere else and buy them, but they won't even get the benefit because of the different receptors competing, you know, or the nutrition competing with the receptors, you know, so they're not getting all of it, even if they're not breaking it down into energy. So energy is the best form of, you know, transmission to our cells, right? So I'm excited that we have something like this that we can, you know, kind of give a person some type of evaluation through the Spark scan, because it makes what we have so much powerful. And you don't have to give it away. You don't have to waste your money and say, hey, I'm paying for this for you for $10 or whatever the case may be. You better use it, or whatever the case may be. Just give them a flash of it. Let them pique their interest. Let them see the benefit that we have here. And then when they see that, they're going to want it. It's like going fishing. You see, you caught you a nice juicy fish, right? You don't want to throw it back. You want it, you know? So I love this strategy right here. The first day I launched this strategy, I had 3 signups right out the gate. I'm like, whoa, this was a laydown. So if you're eager to get some signups, this is a great way that you could use this $10 and maximize that $10. You just maximize that $10. Maybe you do it 10 times, 5 times, whatever, 20 times on that same $10 account. And all you do is go right back in there and cancel it if they say they're not ready to get started, right? Cancel it, send it out to another 2 or 3 people, that same account. So you can keep rolling and rolling that $10 account over and over again. And when you get bombarded, you got 4 other accounts that you can add $10 to as well, right? And keep those rolling as well. So that's a great strategy to maximize your friends and family deal, you know. And then if you're giving it to them for 24 to 48 hours, cut them off after 48 hours. You know, it's the whole old takeaway method. Everybody know that, right? Take away, and then they want it, right? We had a guy that said, you know, you cut me off. You cut me off. Please put me back on. I said, hey, just pay the $100 and get set up. Oh, I could do that. They didn't even know they could do that. So they paid the $100 and was able to activate it right inside the application that they already set up. So I think this is a brilliant way for you guys to leverage your time and your $10 to multiple people all over the world. And at this point, I'm going to open it up. It's about 15 minutes that I talked. I don't want to talk too much longer, but I want to open it up for questions and, you know, concerns or comments or anything like that. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamil. Hey, that was really cool, man. If you have questions for Jamil, just put 555 in the chat box, and that would be really cool. I have a question right off the hop. So if you got a question, just put 555. There's Robert already. I got a question. Hey, do you have something you kind of started with? You're already in the back office, but what about what do you say to someone, or do you have some kind of advertisement or something that you initially share with people to actually get them in the back office, to get them to want this evaluation?
Initially, what I said is that for a limited time, I'm giving a full body free quantum evaluation to the first set of 10 people. You'll be amazed at what your body selects with the proprietary Spark scan technology that's historically known to repair your body and place it back into balance. So that's what I use to pique their interest, because it's all about the 3 Ps, right? With me and Martine. We want to pique their interest. We want to pass them some valuable information, and then we want to plug them into the system. And I believe this is so powerful that you're not giving them all the information. You're not giving them the name of the company so they can go out and do their research on their own. You're going to pique their interest just a little bit, right? And once you pique their interest, they want to set that appointment. Set an appointment is key here, because you're a professional and you have to respect your own time. So if you're not respecting your own time and you just jumping at anybody that say, yes, I'm ready to go now, then you're not professional. You want to set that appointment. If you go to the doctor's office, guess what? You're not just walking in there unless it's the emergency room, right? You're scheduling an appointment. You go to the dentist's office, you're scheduling an appointment, right? You come to the insurance office, you're scheduling an appointment. So have that scheduling available. We use different calendars where you can send them a calendar and they can schedule their appointment right then and there. And from there, we know that they're serious. If they show up to an appointment, then you know they're serious. 9 times out of 10, they just say, you know what, I'm ready to go now. Let's go ahead and get my account set up, because I have some family members that I want to use this for as well.
Awesome. Hey, Robert Jones has a question for Jamil. And Cosmos, you're next.
Please.
Just trying to unmute. The
Yeah,
question
you're
I
good.
had, Jamil, was, yeah, how do you approach it? Are you making a post on Facebook? Are you talking to people? Or you got a newspaper ad? Or like, how are you letting people know about this promotion you're running?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So what I'm doing is I'm posting it on my Facebook wall. I'm posting it in groups. I'm posting on LinkedIn. I'm posting on Instagram. And those are the three sources that I post. I did earlier this week I literally started to post on Craigslist, and I stopped, but I just got so bombarded with what I was already doing. But yeah, you can use all the social medias and just post it from there. You'll be able to get some traction coming in.
Awesome. Thank you. If anyone else has questions, just put 555 in the chat box. And Cosmos, you have a question.
Yes, Jamil, I noticed when you were speaking, you talked about just the custom boost where you do the spark scan. So you don't give them access to any other boost, do you?
At the initial stage, I'm just talking about the spark scan because that's the most valuable part, because the thing is your body is going to actually research our library of nutraceuticals and botanicals and select from there. And then that's most amazing to them, where they see that, wow, how does it know that? How does it know I have these respiratory problems? How does it know I have asthma? That's the most powerful part that we want to put in their face right there. Because once they see that the quantum space, the 0 point field is real.
That's awesome. And that's a really good point. We've always been stressing that the custom boost is the most important. Why? Because you don't necessarily have to feel something. Someone could use this for 2 days and see, I don't feel anything. But if you're doing what Jamil is talking about here and going through each ingredient with them, they can see it working, so they don't need to rely on feeling something. They may feel something, which is cool, but they may not. And it won't even matter if they see it working, that'll work for 100% of the people that we introduce this to. So that's super cool. It doesn't look like there's any more questions. So we're gonna go over to Carl, who's someone I've known for a very long time. And his nickname, Cosmos has one more question.
Yes, just a quick one. Let's say they came in and they wanted to register before you cut off, would the boost that has been set up as custom, will it go over into when they start?
Yes.
After they've registered, or they have to redo it?
If they still have that same account, they register in that same account, their boost is still there.
Okay.
I had that happen. So one of my clients that done it, they did the spark scan. All they have to do is go back into Active Info Boost, click on spark scan, and then it's going to come up again. It's going to already be there saved. So from there, they just select 10 days on the custom boost on demand, and then set up the time that they want to get the notifications, and then name it how they want to name it. And then from there, they just hit activate, and voila, they're activated right away.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So, hey, I have one more question. When you give them an invite and they try it out, they're on your account, and they can upgrade from within that account, and then
yes,
and then the payment changes to them instead of you.
Correct.
Okay, cool. That's super cool. So now I'm gonna, and thank you very much. Thank you. Wow, my phone is talking to me. Thank you very much for sharing that strategy, Jamil. That was awesome. And I'm sure we all got tons of benefit out of that. That's super cool. There's probably a bunch of people that can't wait to try it. But we're gonna, we got one more question from Morgan. Go ahead, Morgan.
Hello, Morgan.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. My question is, what link are you sending them? Are you sending them the Quantum Nomads link, or are you sending the Limbic Arc link?
The link I'm sending them would come straight from Limbic. In your back office under family and friends. And when you add their name and email address, a link to connect is going to be sent to their email.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a unique link straight to them. It's
Carl,
unique. to
Carl's
them.
actually going to show you that right away because he's going to go and
Fabulous. All right. Thank
he's
you.
going to show you that. It's all good because you're going to see the back office again. And so let's head. Yeah, thank you very much, Jamil. That was super awesome. Great information, awesome strategy. We're going to head over to Carl Hovelson, who's using the family and friends as well. He's doing a different strategy with it. And so we're going to learn from him now. So Carl, I'm turning it over to you, my friend.
Well, I have to say that Jamil just gave me some new information that's going to make me do a little bit of a twist to mine. Okay, to add a little bit of front end stuff that he does to what I'm doing. So we're very, very similar, except I actually give a 3-day trial for people. And the reason I do that, I've been playing around with it. First, I gave them 7 days, right? And then I thought, wait a second, I could probably get a lot more people testing this, right? So even though I gave people a 7-day trial with it, I was getting registrations because what happens is I'm kind of mean, okay? So I get them on it. We go through everything. I text them every 2 days to see how it's going. And then on the 7th day, I kill it with no notice, 0 notice, right? And then they come back to me and they go, what the heck's going on? I says, your trial's over. Well, how do I activate it? It's $100. And that's what's happening. So now I'm doing the same thing. I'm kind of mean, not meaning to be mean, but what it does is it tells them the urgency of it. Because what I do is I let them get a taste of it, okay? The one thing that I've just started doing after I was on Jamil's call the other day, where he was explaining what he was doing, so I'm starting to get people going through that process now of going through the Spark scan and showing them what their brain is picking. Because remember, your body is communicating with the server through quantum energy and saying, I want this, 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 and this, right? You're not selecting it. There is no way that you could possibly know what ingredients your body needs. Your body will only know that. Your limbic system in your brain only knows what healing your body needs. All we have is scientific data out there of what they think, what doctors and naturalists and homeopaths and holistics know of different ingredients that do healing. But there's also ingredients out there that are healing as well, and it all has information patterns. Each ingredient on there has a information of what it does. So your brain goes out there and selects it. Now, what I've done on some reading just recently is that your body will only get about 70% of the nutrients it actually needs, okay? So when the limbic system comes into play here, it's now going out and finding that extra 30% that your body's not getting. And that's why it's so impactful. That's why, you know, when you go in and you show people that, they go, holy crap, I never would have known this. I never would have known this. I never would have known this. And they're getting the ingredients that you would have never gone to the supplement store and bought, because you're going on just previous data of what people think is wrong, but they're not getting to the full thing. So that's why that's so important, you guys. That's why that Spark scan is so important. So I get on there and I do that Spark scan with people. Okay, so I'll just share my screen and I'll kind of do, and hopefully it's going to work on here. Okay, so let me just get to the back office here. I'm going to go to the friends and family. Okay, and I'm going to send myself a invite. Okay. I'll just put Carl H in there, but I'm going to use a different email address.
And Morgan, this is how they get the link.
Now, this is how you get it. Yeah. And then I'll go into that account and show you exactly what it looks like. Okay. So now I'm going to send this. Okay?
My brother.
So I've sent that off. Can I get people to mute out if you don't mind, please? Okay, so I'm going to go to my email and I'm going to open up my other account here. Let me just move some stuff around. Add this account. Oh, crap. Oh, I got that on here. Just give me a second to get my. Okay, I just got to just stop this and just mute out everybody.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start sharing again here. I just got to get. I forgot I had to do a number.
You can skip. Click on skip, Carl.
Can I skip
this?
this?
Skip. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the skip there. Okay. So there, I'll remind me later. So I'm going to go in here in the email from Limbic Arc. See right here, you'll get it there, and it gives you a specific link. This is only good for you, not anybody else. Okay. So when I click that, it's going to then send me to go and set up. Okay, I'm already logged in with someone who's got this account. Okay. So, but that's what it's going to look like. You're going to have that special link that's specific to you. Okay. So once I'm in there, I will then go through and I will do a boost. Now let me just go and I'll close my custom, right? And I'll just kind of show you. So I'm going to add the boost. I'm going to go into the custom and I'll go through them. They'll log in. What we do is we get on a Zoom together and we go in there and we share the screens. Now you could do it on Zoom, you could do it on Skype, whatever you do. I prefer to use Zoom. It's way easier to do things. So I then schedule a time, just like Jamil does. We get on a Zoom, we go in there, I get them to share their screen, I walk them through, they click on here, on demand, Spark Scan, and oh, okay. So please, nobody say anything. I'm just going to go through and show you exactly how it's done here. Okay. So, hi, my name is Carl Holson. I'm 57 years old. I've got multicolored hair. I've got brown eyes. My shoe size is 10. And
multicolored hair?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I could have said salt and pepper, but yeah, multicolored is cool. I want to see what it brings up. Okay, so I'm going to do the kinetic touch here. So you'll do 5 different touch points. This is the cognitive pattern that goes along with the voice scan. Okay, so now what's happening here is it's selected different ingredients in here. See, penicillium. I've never seen that before. Okay, can cause headaches, sneezing, rashes, asthmatic symptoms, sinus congestion, and coughing. Well, this is great for somebody with a nasal issue. I need to.
And this would be the other person doing it, and you'd
this would be the other person doing it. Yeah,
you're
not
walking them through it. Yeah.
So this is as if I was somebody else I'm working with, right? I have to write this down because this is a very important one actually for my wife and possibly for Scott. Okay, so these ingredients here, you know, you kind of like 5G radiation. You see, this is a new imponderable that's come out, and 92% it's requiring. The last one I had on here was X-ray. Okay, so I'm assuming that it's selected because I'm using my cell phone a lot, microwave ovens, that sort of thing. You know, we've got high-powered lines not very far from us, so we're getting this kind of stuff. So it's actually seeing that, right? So you've got all these different ingredients that are down here. These are all different. I have not seen a lot of these in here. Okay, just
horny
out of the
goatweed.
Yeah, horny goatweed, cardiovascular wellness, support for the nervous system, and okay. So now, whatever, right? It gets a little personal on some of these things, doesn't it? Wellness, stress. Hey, look, see, for mental wellness and stress, everybody knows I'm a high-strung individual, so it's looking for these, and it's all got in the high amounts, right? So I need these things. So now that I have this, I'm just going to go and activate this right now. Whoops. You got to always name the boost. Okay. And activate that. So now I've got all my boosts running. So after I've got that with them and I've gone through all this, I go, look, Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you use this for 3 days. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the library and we're going to select, 2 different ones of these, and I'll go through like what are the things that you want to work on the most? What are the things that may be possibly affecting you? A lot of people will tell me, well, maybe it's digestion, or maybe it's pain, or they don't sleep enough, or have inflammation. So we'll go in and we'll select 2 from in here, and I run it for 3 days with them. Now, what's been happening for, in the past is that with everybody that has done this, they've received some kind of a result. Now, it may not be from the ones they selected, it could be from the custom. Like I had one guy who was on this, he was using sleep and pain and wasn't getting much results from that. And, and this was after 3 days. But he says he was waking up really refreshed. And then when we went in and looked at his custom, there was a lot of energy stuff that was in there. So that could go towards why he was feeling refreshed. He says he's never felt that way, right? And then what happened was I shut it off after 3 days. And he called me up on the 4th day and said, you know what? I'm not feeling that refreshness anymore. And I told him, well, that's probably because I killed your trial yesterday. And so he registered and joined. Okay? So there's 2 different ways. The way that Jamil is doing it is fantastic as well. I'm going to incorporate that into a little bit of mine, except Jamil, he gets them to understand a little bit more on how this is going, and he's getting that, affecting people that way. I wasn't doing what he was doing until just recently, but I'm still keeping the 3-day trial because that's what I'm kind of promoting. And a lot of people are saying, well, what if I don't feel anything within 3 days? Well, then maybe you'll have to pay the $100 to find out more. And I leave it at that point there. But you see, what happens is, guys, is when you start sharing it the way that I'm sharing it, even when you cut them off and they go, well, I didn't really experience anything, I always tell them, I says, remember those ingredients that it picked. A lot of those ingredients are not going to be focused on something you're going to experience. But what will happen is after I cut it off, it could come back and you could say, well, I'm not experiencing things the same way. Sorry, I hit my Google phone thing and it came up and it was answering questions. But so what happens is that when they get cut off, they're feeling not the same as what they felt before. And that could have been the effect of what the custom was doing, not necessarily the 2 different predefined boosts that they had. Now, I've had people also said that they felt just a little bit of pain relief when they selected pain, but not a whole lot. And then I said, to this one person, I says, you know what? Take a leap of faith, spend the $100 and I'll build you a custom one. And I did that and pain was gone within 2 days. Because you see, everybody's body is different. So some of the predefined ingredients in there may not work. You might have to tweak things. And that's the beautiful part about this program, is we have so many ingredients in here that it allows us to go in and tweak our existing ones and make our own custom ones. You see, if you notice here, I mean, Carl, mad scientist, Hovelson, right, that's in here, I create my own. I've got actually 6 boosts running. I've got a digest, inflammation, and pain running, and I've got a vision, stress, and blood sugar regulation running. Okay? So what I've done is I've gone out and I've slowly taken 2 different ones and added them together and started to feel way better. And then I was running, like in this case here, I was running pain and inflammation. And I found that it worked great together. So I combined pain and inflammation. And then I had an extra boost open. So I threw on digestion. Digestion started to work. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm just going to add digestion to pain and inflammation. And then I'll have another boost. And it allowed me to try others that were out there. Now, when you're starting up, Okay, this is not what you're going to do right away, just to be straight and clear. What you need to do once you just make your decision is you start running each and every one of these that you feel is going to be best for you, and you trial them for about a week. It took me a month before I started combining anything. But the point I'm making here, you guys, is that you're going to find out most people, some people might take longer than 3 days. Okay? So it's real important that you do that custom boost and walk them through that. Don't just give them your link and think that they're going to go and set it up. Because I will tell you, I made that mistake at the beginning, and I sent it to somebody. They did not set it up right, and they said this thing doesn't work. And at that point, it's impossible to get them back in. They've already made their decision that it doesn't work. And because I didn't take the time to set them up and explain what the custom was all about. And that's why Jamil is doing something so unique, and that's why I'm incorporating it into what I'm doing now. Dan is also, enforced that into my head, and this is a pretty thick skull, so it takes some time for some things to get through to it, right? But, I listen, and I watch, and I take action on it. And we right now have this $10 trial. Hopefully, we're going to try and convince them to extend it. But the only way they're going to do that, you guys, is if you use it. This is the most powerful marketing tool we have. How many of you out there have run traffic? Anybody out there? Okay, so Dan and I have run a lot of traffic. Okay, we've spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month running traffic to maybe get a couple of sales. Here, you've got, if you utilized all 5 of those, that's $50 a month. And you can have as many people trial that as you want, which is way more powerful than hoping and praying that somebody's going to click on a link in an email and actually go to your site. Here, you're giving it to them, you're showing them it, you're showing what it's doing, and should you want to give them a bit of a trial, whatever it is, you'll need to do at least 3 days if you're going to do a trial with somebody, okay? Because, it's going to take probably 24 to 48 hours before they actually feel anything. If they're one of those that aren't going to take action right away, some people will. Like with Jamil, some people will. They'll just go, that's fantastic, I'm in. But then you're going to have those skeptics out there. They're going to say, I don't know, it seems like a little bit of voodoo or something, right? And then that's when I kick in. I say, look, 3-day trial on me. There is no free ones in here, so I'm going to pay for it, but you got to activate it right now. If you're not prepared to activate it right now, the offer's off the table and it's done. But you've seen what it does. And I've had some people walk away, but then I've also had them come back to me too and say, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. And they've registered and paid the $100 because you've already got it in their head that something is going on here. Okay? Like I even had a conversation today, and I shared this with Dan. I'm going to share this with everybody in here, right? And Dan kind of, when I talked to him about it, he really kind of gave me a perspective reply to this guy, okay? And I just want to read this, okay? It's very short, but it's kind of different, okay? So I sent him the information about today's call to come on. And he goes, I don't know, bro. It seems borderline witchcraft to me. If God isn't in it, that means you're playing with wicked powers. And I talked to Dan about that today, and I go, how would I respond to this guy? And Dan gave me a great response. He goes, God created science and the universe, my friend. Okay? The universe is a 0-point field, so he really is part of this. Man is only starting to understand and discover it. You see, and I have to say, a lot of people that know me, I'm not really a religious guy. I'm not atheist. I don't go to church. I used to, but I still believe in a lot of stuff. I still believe in him. Okay, but I do it in my own way. And the more that I learn about this program, the more I learn about quantum energy and quantum healing and stuff, this all makes sense, And I mean, Dan even brought up the part that you find in there that God talks about that kind of the healing in there. He talks about the universe. He talks about all that. You know, not to bring that into the picture here, but I'm just trying to give you an open perspective for those that might be a little bit skeptical, because just because you can't see, feel, or taste it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And everything out there, including us, we are in a physical form. You can touch us. But you know what we are? We're condensed energy. That's what we are.
Holograms.
We're holograms, condensed energy that makes us into a physical form. And you see, the thing is that we're all part of the 0-point field. We're all connected, no matter what. Even right now, we're all connected to the 0-point field, which is kind of crazy. Okay? So all I'm saying is that in order for you to really utilize what we have here, spend the time. Don't be so quick to throw your link at people. You know, we have Facebook with over 2 billion people on it. LinkedIn with, I think they're just over 1 billion now on LinkedIn. You have Instagram. You've got Twitter. I could go on and on and on and on and on. Okay? So it's endless, the people that you can connect with. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be writing down, I'm going to listen to this playback. I'm going to write down exactly what Jamil is sending to people. And that's going to be part of my, call it a pitch. Okay? That I'll be sending to people, explaining about why I want to get them on, what I want them to trial. It's all going to take just a bit of their time, no money involved. Okay? And you see, that's the one thing that people do. They will give you their time if their wallet isn't involved. They will do that. So the first part is their wallet stays in their pocket. We go in there. Again, spend whatever time you want. You can make that decision whether you want to just share the quantum, the custom setup, the Spark scan, or whether you want to do this custom Spark scan and a 3-day. Everybody has a choice. This just happens to be how I do it, which doesn't mean it's better than Jamil's way. Both ways, all ways are good. You see, you're going to figure out what your main ingredient is going to be for this. We're just giving you a couple of ideas to run with. So that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Carl, for sharing those and dropping those nuggets, and Jamil as well. If anyone has questions for Carl, do what Dwayne did and put 555 in the chat box. That was super awesome. I know I'm going to take a lot from both of you guys, and I'm going to create something that works from this too. I'm really excited. I can't wait to use this tool.
Well, Jamil just enhanced mine, so I'm glad he was on here, because now I just enhanced mine now, big time. So thank you for that. Cool,
man. So if you have questions, put 555 in the chat box. Dwayne, go ahead, man.
Unmute. Okay. Gosh, thank you, both of you. Carl and Jamil, my gosh, I'm glad I'm on this call today with you. My question is, because I really don't understand this yet, where do I get this replay so that I can study this and get it all?
Okay, well, for $49.95, I'll give you my PayPal.
Or a fishing trip. How's that?
Hang on, I'll show you guys. Okay, this is where we store everything. Okay, so it's going to be in our Quantum Nomads group. Okay, let me just minimize some of this stuff. So we're at Quantum Nomads here. This is where we are. We have a area in here called videos. Okay, so in the video section we have albums, and we will have the videos, the training videos. So it'll be in here. So right now we've got the one that I did on building the multi-boost. This one will also be in here. So this is where you'll go to find all of our trainings. We're keeping them all in a separate area in our group there. Okay. So, and what's cool about this, you guys, is that we have everything organized. We got a file section as well, where you can go in and find the different boosts that we have. You know, the different links to creating boosts. A lot of other stuff that we put. You'll always find it in here. Now, when I do post this recording up here today, one approval coming in. There we go. We'll approve, Bill. Okay. So on the discussion, as soon as I post it, it will also go straight onto the timeline as well. So it'll always be there. And then when you can't find it because things scroll in here, just go to the video section. Okay, so hopefully that helps you.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Anything else?
Any more questions, guys? 555 if you got a question in the chat. Otherwise, this training is over. What an awesome training.